Okay, let's see. Subject, werewolf.
Oh, great. You're writing it down now?
It's called documentation.
It's called evidence.
According to my documentation, the creature needed one head and at least two hands.
You're acting like that's normal.
We made a movie.
You made a movie. That thing made poor life choices.
Speaking of which, a lot of people have been asking about how these werewolf hands were made after watching BITTEN. So today we're headed back into the shop to take a look behind the scenes at the build process.
I still think we should have made a romantic comedy.
With a werewolf?
Now you're getting it.
Let's get to the build.
Yes.
All right, our prosthetic is finished, and now I want to get to the werewolf hands. I'm going to show you guys how to make a really easy set of werewolf hands. So you're going to need a few things to start off with. You're going to need some kind of glove. I'm using an old gardening glove, right? You're going to need yourself a black marker, some upholstery foam or upholstery batting. This is going to create just a little more detail on the hands. You're going to be needing some liquid latex and paper towels, toilet paper. We're going to be using some thermoplastic for the nails of this. And then I have some of this wool yarn. This is going to act as our hair, so we'll glue that into place afterward. But to get started, also contact cement. I'm going to mark out the points where my hands bend so I can leave those without liquid latex, so I still have the ability to move my hand open and close. So we already know this is going to be a moving spot there, and then where my fingers bend, and I only need one bend really. Not too worried about this flexation because they don't really flex all that much. I just want a little bit of movement in my hand here. Now we're going to take our upholstery foam, and what I'm doing here is just creating a little bit of size. So because these are flat and it's not going to read as knuckles when I'm wearing the glove, I need to put something on the outside to create that illusion. So I'm just going to take a strip of this upholstery foam, cut it to size, and then we'll do just strips like this, and then I'm going to cut like soft diamond shapes out of it, and then this is going to act as our knuckles, just to give a little fluff, so when we put our liquid latex and paper towels over the top of it, we have a little bit of a popped out bulge there, so it makes sense for placement of the knuckle. And I also want to create a little pad like a dog's paw for the hand here. So I'll take a little bit of this stuff here, cut out a little rectangle, and then I'll roughly just shape this so I have a little pad for the hand as well. Little details might not even be seen on camera, but that's not the point. I just want to have them in there just in case. So to attach this, I'm going to use some contact cement. Okay, if you haven't used contact cement before, you want to put your cement on both sides where you're going to have your stuff. Let it dry completely, and then once it's tacky and dry, it takes about 5 minutes or so, and you stick it together, and it creates a really good bond, especially on material and stuff like that. Foam is great for foam. One thing I do want to mention though, get the original contact cement. Don't get the water-based stuff. The water-soluble crap is junk. Does not work, doesn't hold. Get the original stuff. You can also use a heat gun to speed up this process. Okay, so now that it's pretty dry to the touch on both sides, we'll go ahead and stick this together, and this stuff will stay on there. It's gonna be perfect. So it's just a little bit of padding. You can double up on this if you want it to be thicker, more noticeable. Again, we'll do the same thing to the knuckles. I'll pad this up the way I want, and then we're gonna get to our liquid latex step. Okay, so now we have the upholstery foam on our gloves the way I wanted it. So just like a little pad for the paw, some knuckles here, and then to add a little bit more detail, I used hot glue and created this veinage here. Now it's going to be really subtle, but that's not the point. I wanted just to have a little bit more texture here, so when I put my paper towel over the top, it'll adhere over the top and you'll be able to see it. This will act as a skin. So what I'm doing, I just took a little bit of liquid latex. I'm going to take my individual straps, and I'll also too, I tore these by hand, so you don't have like too many straight edges. You don't want too many straight edges, so it looks more natural when you place it together. try to get the straight edges off. And I'm just gonna take, this is a little foam sponge for makeup here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just dab it on the material, make sure it's saturated in there. And then I'll take a little piece of my paper towel, press it into place, and then dab more of this here. Now, if you look close enough, you should be able to see how it goes right over the veins there and creates skin over the top of it. And that's exactly what I knew it would do, what I wanted. So I'm just gonna continue on with the rest of the hand. All right, keep adding your paper towel as you go. Kind of a tedious process, takes a little bit of time for sure, but the end result's gonna be what's up. But you can see just from that little bit of work here, it's already starting to come together. Once this dries up too, it'll get a little bit tacky and I can pinch these knuckles and kind of give them a little bit more shape as well. But right now it's still a little too wet. So we're just gonna keep going. We'll go ahead, I'll fill up this entire glove in the same way and then I'll bring you back once it's dry so you can see the finished result. Okay, so now our latex on our gloves is dry and I did go ahead and spray it with a black base coat. We're gonna do some dry brushing techniques to bring out all the latex and detail I have here. But before that, I wanted to go ahead and create the claws for the gloves. So what we're gonna be doing or using for that is this moldable plastic. This is actually thermoplastic. So you're gonna drop it in super hot water. So you definitely need super hot water. These little white beads will end up going clear and then you can mold it to whatever shape you want. I also have a little dish right here of ice water so I can super cool it as soon as I get the shape down and we'll go ahead and have that shape set. So let me bring you a little bit closer so you can see what we're doing. I'm just adding a little bit to see how much I'm gonna need. Now also, if you zoom in a little bit here, these beads will start to go clear. So it takes a little bit and then they also clump together once they go clear. So we're gonna wait a few seconds. You can see them kind of going transparent here. And they're getting to the point now where I can mold it together. Once they start to stick, take like a stick or whatever you need, whatever you have on hand. And then we're gonna make our claws now. Maybe we use half of that, so I'll leave the rest in there. And you can see how this stuff starts to work around. So as far as the claw shape, I'm gonna go more for a big claw. So I want it rounded on the end. And then we'll kind of twist this end here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do it finger by finger and see what looks best. So if I place it on the glove, we can see about angle we need, how much of this bend we need, what's gonna look good. Kind of play around with it. Once you get it about, ooh, and this sticks really good to the glove actually. So since that sticks really good to the glove, I'm gonna see if I can just dip this in ice water just like this and see how it looks. I can just sculpt around it if I need to. Now, what's also good about this stuff too is if you don't like a shape, you can dip it back into your hot water and go again. But I'm pretty happy with just that gnarly looking claw. That way, when I put this glove on, let's see how that looks. Now we're gonna do a little bit of painting to really make this look good once it's completely set. But that's about the idea I want for the claws. So I'm gonna do the rest of them and then we'll get to the detail paint. All right, now we have our monster hands, our werewolf hands going pretty good. The nails are on there, and I didn't even have to glue them on. Originally, I was gonna use some contact cement to stick these on the gloves, but as they were still curing, before I dipped them in the cold water, I just stuck them right to the glove and it worked out perfectly. They're not coming off at all. So now that we have that done, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing a dry brushing technique to get the detail out in this. And then we're gonna add a little bit of our wool yarn here to create the hair at the end, and I'll use contact cement and or hot glue to make that happen. Come a little closer so we can look at this detailed paint. Okay, so to start, I have a few different colors of paint here. We're gonna start with the darkest color first, do a dry brush over the entire thing, and then we'll go a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter just to add highlights and layers and variation of color. So for dry brushing, it's just the smallest amount of paint, get the majority of it off, and then start to go to town. You can see how quickly it picks up the color here. Now the back of this hand is gonna be mostly hair, but I still wanna make sure I get the majority of it covered, because I'm looking for more browns, skin tones in that sense. Again, this works for costumes. You could do this just for Halloween if you want an awesome costume, but for the movie, it'll also work and be really effective once we do it. Plus, we're gonna be, I'm thinking as far as like the lighting, it's gonna be super dark for the lighting, for the scenes where I'm gonna have these gloves on. So I'm not too worried about like any seams. Like I have a little seam here that's a little bit light. That's going to be okay. It'll be hidden by the shadows anyway. You can see here though, with the dry brushing, you can see the veinage that we did with the glue starting to pop out a little bit, a lot more texture. And again, this is the darkest color. So as we go lighter, it's going to get a little bit brighter and brighter, and you're going to see more of it. Okay, so we have the first layer of brown. You can already start to see some of that detail, some of this veinage in here. Now we're going to go in with a little bit of lighter color. This is this rust here. Again, dry brushing, same. This is one technique. Maybe in future videos I'll show you other techniques to do washes, but for today, just dry brushing. Okay, so get the majority of it off and then add another layer. Now, again, this is going to bring out a little bit more detail. Also, too, with your paintbrush, keep it moving in different directions. Don't go in the same direction because you're going to see it as a paintbrush. You don't want that. You want it to feel more like it's all natural. And by doing that, it makes the viewer not think of a costume and think about more real skin. What I'm going to do here, as a matter of fact, I'll show you guys really quick. For the nails themselves, I'll go ahead and take a smaller brush. I'll take some of this yellow color, this dingy color here. And this is going to be super watered down because as I come here and brush this on, I kind of want to fade it from the bottom of the nail going upward. And this is, like I said, this is a wash because it's going to give it that dirty, dingy kind of look. I want these nails to look gross and dingy. So that's what we're doing here. We'll keep the top of the claws a little more white, and then we can even go in with a little darker color here, and we can hit the very bottom of the nails just to give that fade, almost like candy corns, you know? Okay, and I might even add a little bit of color here and then go back in with some wash or more water, thin that out again where it feels too dark to me, or just with the brush kind of fade it out. And really quick, not a ton of work, but you can see those hands there. Now, once these are dry, I'm gonna go ahead and take little pieces of this wool. We'll glue it from here and then layer it over the knuckles here, and that'll be a perfect werewolf hand. That's how you make them. Okay, so I'm using contact cement here. Again, do not get the water-based stuff. Get the original. The water-based doesn't work. And what I'm going to do here is just starting at the wrist, just get myself a nice thin coat. Doesn't have to be too thick because this stuff needs to dry anyway. But I'm just going to put it over this area where I want the hair to be. Right? And we'll do it on both. Like I said, it's going to take about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to put it in front of the fan. Hopefully that'll speed it up a little bit. But just where I need that hair to be, put that off to the side. And I can take tufts of this stuff because contact cement works by applying it to both pieces or both sides. But it's very difficult with this because it's so thin. So I'm going to just kind of lightly dab at it and then set it off to the side, let it dry a little bit. And I'm trying to grab these tufts from where they bend on themselves, and then I'll hold them from this end and then just add a little bit of this here. I know I'm not going to need too much. The trick to this really though is making sure you don't stick everything to itself. So do a little bit at a time if you're new with it till you get the hang of it a little bit. Okay, and just to show you what I'm doing really quick is I'll go ahead and start from the base of the glove here like I said. I'm just going to stick this down and let it kind of move this way naturally. And you can see right there, it's probably only going to take me one tuft because of the length. And again, I'll layer it over itself here, but this is going to work perfect. So I'll go ahead and grab another piece, make sure I'm layering it, and just let it stick down, just like that. Layering it. This stuff, again, if it gets too bunched up, just pull at it, and there you go. Okay, so I'm going to finish up these gloves, and that hairy wolfman hand is going to look awesome. Let's see. Werewolf hands complete.
That's all you're writing?
What else should I add?
Try potentially dangerous.
They're props.
That's exactly what a future victim would say.
Either way, these hands played a major role in bringing the creature from bitten to life.
There you go again with the bringing it to life thing.
If you enjoyed this episode from Behind the Bite, do us a favor. Like this video, share it with your friends, and hit that hype button.
The more people who see it,
the more behind-the-scenes stories we can tell,
and the more pages end up in that book.
That's the plan.
I'm checking that book for my name.
But until next time, keep building things, stay creative, and don't forget to go wild. I'm Gio from Carvalho Creations, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh,
All right, everybody. Don't make me slap your eyes. Go watch some videos. Yes. You know why? Because I'm dope. Did you know how dope I am? The dopest. Peace out, home slice.